Maybe I'll record a video. Hey guys, it's Lightning here. Welcome back to another video. Today we're doing DIY Christmas cards.
What are you doing, Dragon? Why are you on my computer?
Bye.
So, here I used cold pressed watercolor paper and some random watercolor markers I picked up, or watercolor paints that I picked up in probably Hobby Lobby. So I put 2 lines of color down and then used more water to pull it down to create a gradient wash. Then I tried to go in and I cleaned it up a little bit. And then I tried to go in and make these white dots because I thought it's red package. Why wouldn't white dots look pretty? Well, that didn't work very well, and I ended up not doing anything. It didn't really work. I tried using paper towel. I tried using some waters to move the pigment, and it didn't really look how I wanted. So I decided to just go back over it with some more watercolor, and then pull it back down so that it just make it go away. So then I let the paper dry for a little while, and then I put some like blue color or purple, I don't know which color it was, over it to make darker dots rather than light dots on dark. And so I went through and did several dots, and then went back over them again. Then I went through, I took a thin brush and I picked up some of the black to put an outline around the edge of the present. I did this for 2 reasons. One, I wanted that, I love these sharp outlines and I wanted that dark, distinct, this is the present, this is not the present kind of line barrier between the color. Second thing is, it allows you to have a straight line rather than a wiggly line. Now I went through and used a flat brush and some red pigment to make a bow, and there you go, you have a present. I just went through, touched up with my paper towel any places where the purple color ran a little bit, and yeah. Then I made a Christmas tree. You can see I'm sketching it there. Basically a triangle shape, the trunk, and then I thought about putting this horizon line in, but decided against it. I instead decided to draw a pot. I felt that this horizon line wouldn't really make it look good, and I'd rather it be like it's this Christmas tree in a family home. It's a white wall behind it, and use like the white space to my advantage. So then I went through and used a red color on the pot, again applying darker pigment, more pigment on one side, and then brushing it across to get that gradient effect. And so I wanted that terracotta pot, like like the pots you find places. Then I did the trunk. Here I'm putting a light brown coat of pigment. Later I will do a darker coat to add shadow. But I wanted the basic light coat to make it easy to dry and later put details. And then I wet the tree down so that it would accept the watercolor easier, so that it would create a more smooth wash. And then I went in, rather than just doing a smooth wash, I put dots of color, which would then spread slightly because of the water that's on the paper. And but it would also keep it more together, make it look more like dots on a Christmas tree. So I had 3 different greens. I used a light green, a dark green, and like a very dark green. And yeah, I used the light and the medium green, dark green together, and then I used the very dark green to create shadow using it on the left side of the tree. As you can see, there's some of the dark green. It's kind of like a sat green, not like a dark green. But yeah, I put that on the very left side of the tree to create that shadowing effect where like the lightest branches are on the right side. Then there's some mid-tone branches that are like that medium darkish green, and then the dark green on the far left, and with some of the darker dots interspersed between the light ones on each side. Then I went through and did the trunk. I used that dark brown to create some shadowing effects, and I tapped some of it away because it was a little bit too dark, and I wanted it to be a little bit lighter. I went over the dirt again to create that dark brown color, and then I went over and layered dark brown each time, adding a little bit more detail. As you can see, I did use my paper towel several times to dab parts of the watercolor that I had tried to get on the terracotta color. I didn't want them there, so I just used the paper towel. It didn't remove the terracotta color because it was mostly dry, but it did actually get the dark brown color. So then I went over and I feathered the edge of the tree because it didn't quite have that tree branch bristle look that I wanted, and I wanted to add that, and so I just took some water, reactivated the watercolor, and feathered those edges. So then I went back over the terracotta section. It was kind of too light, and I wanted it to be darker, so I went ahead and went over in the darker color. Now it gives more contrast to the tree, and yeah. So then I went back in and did this star, took some yellow and just made a star shape, just to make a little decoration to the tree, because it looked like it was needing something, and so I thought the star would give it that little Christmas spirit that it needs, that when you're doing Christmas cards, you want that little bit, the little details are what makes people really like things. So I went back in and then added a little bit more green, touched up some lighter areas, and then I let it dry for a little bit because I wanted to do some Christmas baubles, you know, those little glass ornaments you find. So I wanted to let it dry so that those didn't totally bleed out all over the leaves, because the leaves hadn't quite dried by the time I was done with the base and the trunk. So then I went in, I took some red and made these baubles. The cool thing about watercolor is you can do watercolor over dry watercolor and it will still show up. So I went over them a few times because the first time it was a little bit lighter than I wanted. It showed, there's some of the green did show through behind it. So I went back over into the watercolor again and made it so that they were a lot darker and a lot easier to see. But I did go through and put several dots. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Enjoy your Christmas, and if you're watching this another time of Christmas, enjoy the rest of your day. Have a nice day.